Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to another very special esports broadcast from Motorsport New Zealand. This time we are going to do something a little unique. We're bringing in specialist drivers, so to speak, because tonight we celebrate the Elite Motorsport Academy of New Zealand. It would be remiss if we didn't go through the list of some of the fantastic drivers that we have had across the years, like Hayden Paddon, Shane Van Gisbergen, Earl Bamber, Will Bamber, John O'Lester, Brendan Hartley, Nick Cassidy. You want me to keep going? Okay. Richard Stanaway, Brendan Leach, Andre Heimgartner, Marcus Armstrong, Mitch and Simon Evans. I'll stop there because we need to breathe. The reason we need to do that is it is a massive list over the years. And the Elite Motorsport Academy is something very special. So, to help me discuss that, for a couple of minutes before we get into our live racing, I am now joined by the President of Motorsport New Zealand and Trustee of the Academy, Wayne Christie. We'll make sure we can hear him. G'day, Wayne. Are you there?
Good evening, Craig. Yep, certainly here.
Oh, fantastic. Now, this is the Elite Academy. We've got about 4 minutes to try and tell the world how wonderful the Elite Academy is. Go!
Okay, well, it's an academy that Motorsport New Zealand started back in the very early 2000s because we realised that as time had gone by, we had our traditional trio at the top, which was Denny Holm, Bruce McLaren, Chris Amon, and we had a smattering of Formula One drivers in between times. But really, we were getting left in the wilderness, and the Guardians of Motorsport New Zealand at the time decided that we needed to do something about that, and the Elite Academy was born. And as you know, from there, we've just had some tremendous drivers come through, and several of them have made their way onto international titles.
It's been a success, hasn't it? You cannot deny that the level of driving that these graduates have gone to has proven the academy to work.
Oh, absolutely! It's a total jewel in our crown, and something that the FIA and I know that a lot of the other countries that I deal with on a regular basis look at us very closely, and they go, "How does that little country at the bottom of the world keep bringing these drivers through?" And you know, when we've got Mitch Evans and Brendan Hartley and Hayden Paddon and Marcus Armstrong and Liam Lawson, you know, they're all right at that top spectrum of the world driving, and a big part of that has been our academy, and the drivers themselves often bring reference back to that.
The academy, though, isn't just about driving skill, is it? In fact, that's almost not what it is. Would that be the right way to say it?
It kind of is, Craig. When the academy graduates are brought together, they have a week camp in Dunedin, and it's a very intensive week for them. And they're put through their paces not behind a driving wheel, but in terms of how their fitness is and how their mental training is, how they do their nutrition, how they interact with sponsors and do their marketing, and it tries to put together a bit of, make them into a more complete package, because as we know, you can have all the talent in the world behind the wheel, and they've already proven that to be able to get there in the first place. But what the Elite Academy is about taking it that step further to really make them that complete package that team owners and sponsors are looking for, that will really make them stand out on the world stage.
It is important, all that stuff you've said, the marketing and of course the health side of it, because you are an elite athlete when you come into this motorsport level. So I guess everyone, whether they because you can win the academy, can't you? You can be the winner for the week, but everybody who goes through it, they get everything.
Yeah, they do. So the Weeks Academy, there is a winner of that, and there actually there's 8 people that go through it each week. They're put into 2 teams, so we're pitting teams against each other. They're also, apart from having to work as part of a team, it's an individual competition. And following on from that, they get a year's worth of support from all of our providers that we get, from the Otago Academy of Sport, right through to nutrition experts, personal training experts. And the winner of the Elite Academy gets $1,500 extra towards that. And the second place gets 1,000, third gets 500, and the rest of them still get some benefit as well. So the academy is not just a week in Dunedin, it actually goes on for an entire year. And then at the end of that year, at our annual Motorsport Awards, we will present the winner of the Ian Snellgrove Memorial Trophy, which recognises the winner of the academy for that year.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. And how, very quickly before we go to tonight's racing, how do you actually pick them, those 8 people?
Well, it's quite a process actually, Craig. We invite applications, and that opens around about October each year and goes through to around the end of February, if I'm not mistaken. So what we try and do there is we try to grab the tail end of the rally season, bring it through the race season, and then our trustees take the applications, and they will interview those that they believe are worthy of being interviewed, and then they've got the tough job of nailing them down to 8. And this year, to get the 8, we had over 42 applications.
Wow. Yeah, so you can understand the disappointment from some who don't make it.
Yeah, and it was really hard this year because, of course, last year we weren't able to hold the academy, so it was a bit of a double up this year. But the providers that we had down at the Otago Academy of Sport were so complimentary about this year's group in particular, and they did say that as a combined group, they were very well prepared and just really integrated really well into the process. So I've since heard that they're all reacting really well to the ongoing training and the ongoing commitment that they need to make as well, which is fantastic.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. All right. Well, thank you for the insight to it, Wayne, because a lot of people probably hear about it, but they don't really quite understand what it's all about. So I really appreciate you a few minutes here giving us a very broad and a very quick explanation of the Elite Motorsport Academy. Thanks for that.
Absolute pleasure, and best of luck to everyone competing tonight.
Yep. Thank you very much, Wayne. There we go. So Wayne Christie, the president of Motorsport New Zealand, and he's part of the Elite Motorsport Academy, being a trustee in it. Going through what it is, and we are now looking at some of these drivers just completing their qualifying session before they get into racing proper, which is intriguing. Let me show you what it is, shall I? Now, we are going to have race 1 at Red Bull Ring in the Dallara F3. Fairly decent kind of weapon, that one, around this brilliant racetrack. Lone qualifying is 3 laps, and then they're going to race for 15 laps. What then happens is we take a sort of a breather. Not too long, though. It's only a quick and away we go again, because we change racetracks. We hop in our planes and we move to Brands Hatch, where they're going to jump into some Audi RS3s, the TCR stuff. And they're going to do, again, 3 laps of qualifying and then a 15-lap race. So that is the format for tonight. It should be very, very interesting. Tonight I'm also joined by the one and only, the man who drives the big grunty V8s, Andrew Anderson. Thanks for joining me tonight, pal.
Yeah, thanks, Sooty. It's great to be here, and echoing Wayne's comments before. It's great to be in amongst the elite of what is going to come through and be the recognised household names of New Zealand motorsport.
Yeah, exactly. And now we just get to have some fun with them, don't we? Because Motorsport New Zealand have said to them all, they've put out the call and said, okay, you clowns, let's have a little bit of entertainment and lockdown and entertain everybody out there in the motorsport world who's watching the broadcast and go, okay, let's grab a few of you together. We'll chuck you in an F3 around the Red Bull ring and we'll all have a giggle at your expense as you race a simulator. But the thing is, I guess, Andrew, a lot of these drivers, only when they're racing these cars for real and other their particular code of motorsport, they are generally, most of them, on a sim.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, a lot of these guys these days, it is a valid means of getting some testing in if they're not out there on the track burning the real fuel and rubber. They're certainly cutting laps and refining their skills in some pretty highly advanced and technical simulators these days with load cells and load pressure pedals and things like that. So a lot of them are gaining a lot of their experience from hours and hours behind the sim, and we'll get to see some of that tonight.
Yeah, and some of them don't. Some of them don't do it, so they'll be quite a giggle. That'll be quite entertaining to see how they go. But that's all part of the esports simulation, and I don't think they're going to be too concerned with the overall situation. It's a bit of a laugh for them, but they will still take it seriously because, as you know, Andrew, you just can't not, eh? You whether it's a real helmet or a simulated one, once the helmet goes on, it's game on.
So rest assured that these guys will not just doing this for fun. There will be extreme bragging rights. The water cooler chat afterwards will be off the charts. I can guarantee you that. So these guys will be definitely wanting to take the World Championships home tonight.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll wait for the graphics board once all it's sorted because we're just waiting for them to finish their qualifying. And then we'll know who has done what, where, how, and why. And I can see them there. Look at that. Shane Van Gisbergen got ahead of Liam Skeets. Caleb Natoa in third, and Matt McCutcheon will be on the second row. Taylor Cockerton, Jacob Smith, Marco Giltrap, wonderful. Andrew Waite, of all people, Brock Gilchrist and Brock Timperley. And then we've got a few, Richard Bethune, James Penrose, Rowan Shepherd. I don't think he does a lot of sim, nor does Alastair Wooten or Jack Hawkswood. In fact, Simon Evans does. He won't be happy. And Flid Mullany. So, Andrew, Gizzy up front. Gee, gosh, shock horror.
Well, I was going to say we're going to split it with open wheelers and tin tops, and it's going to favour who? Gizzy, who can drive anything.
Yeah, it seems to be the case.
Sim.
Oh,
he's
dear,
sitting on a little Tech wheel. Look at them on the limiter.
They're loving it. Okay, we're getting underway. It is
it's up. Look at him go. Oh, there's contact at the back. Already, we haven't even got to the start line for some. Heading into turn one. There's a dive bomb coming already. No, the Red Bull, number 15 of Natoa. He's going to back up. But we're losing some more.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Meanwhile, up the front. Yeah, and up the front, they're like, whatever. They just don't care what's going on behind them. Gizzy, Natoa, Skeets and McCutcheon. Skeets lost the spot. Natoa's up into second. Waitie's up there in fifth. Good on him. So he's done well. Marco Giltrap's gone down and down because he's switching around with Smith. But they come through this absolutely wonderful and fun track.
Up the front, it's all...
Yeah. Look at Natoa going, oh, no.
He's made a mistake. No way. He's going to take the field out. Oh, he's rolled back and he's wiped them out. He's going to... Oh. Like, we've got one on its roof. Who's that on his roof? I can't read the number.
Now it looks like an off-roader, and I'm even more impressed with the look of the car now because it looks like an off-road buggy. At the moment, McCutcheon, now I'm pretty sure it wasn't netcode and I'm pretty sure he wasn't touched. To me, it looked like Gizzy just put his foot down on cold tyres and spun it out. So McCutcheon, Giltrap, Smith, Natoa. Natoa lost the spot again. Gilchrist and Timperley. Bethune, Shepherd, Gisbergen down and wherever, and Simon Evans. So This is going to be intriguing. McCutcheon knows how to sim, so that won't be a problem. He knows what it's all about. Giltrap all the way up into second place. Let's see how they go into turn one. A vast and hard right-hander with an awful bump on the left-hand side. That yellow sausage is a terrible piece of concrete to hit your car on. You can either use it to pull yourself around the right-hander or you end up bouncing, and I don't think in these cars they'll want to do that. In the tin tops, they wouldn't care. Through turn number 2 now, well, I consider it to be turn number 2. The other one's just a little bend, a little curve, and over the top they come. Now, this right-hand hairpin is an absolute shocker. This is where people go crazy, which is exactly where Gizzy spun out. Too much power. They come through here and it is tight. See, they're actually all starting to go out to the sand because they're braking way too late and they're sweeping off their speed. But at the moment, McCutcheon is doing the better of the worst. Now he's using all of the better of the worst. Now he's going through turns 3 and 4 into 5. Oh, he's got it sus now. This is not an issue. He's going to run away with it. I like the graphics, Andrew. I like it a lot.
Well, I think the Fruit Loops, I was probably referring to those who started in front of him. They went a bit loopy, all right. But Matt McCutcheon's, he's certainly showing a pretty clean pair of heels here to Marco Giltrap. Now, a little bit of a hats off to Marco Giltrap. He had that horrendous crash down at Taupo in the McLaren. So I know he's on the rehab program and he's doing a lot of sim work as his rehabilitation. So it's great to have him on board the server tonight. And look at that, he's fighting it out for a podium spot.
Yeah, that is. And it's good training for him because now instead of... He's with people he knows, so that'll be fun too. But he'll also, you know, he can give himself a good challenge, a good test there. And he's trying to take on Smith, Jacob Smith. And it's a nice close battle here. But I'm sure I can see a few car parts still on the track. That's what I'm just saying. Just wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I can see car parts on the track. And when that happens, you know.
Yeah, when they're coming up the front straight there, Sooty, there was quite a lineup in the pit lane. The pit crew is working overtime. They're all sitting there going, come on, boys, fix it. Where's me fast repairs?
Okay, we're looking here. This is turn 3 and 4. Now, that's, again, they're really, really tight corners here at Red Bull Ring. But if you know how to use... Oh, there's Josh Bethune. It's not Richard. But once you know the circuit, you realise you can sweep all the way and use every part of the track. It's just awesome. And you can see why the Formula One drivers, to me, I think make this track a little bit boring. But when you start going to the next categories down and the touring cars on this track, then you got something ripper. And for me, this Formula 3 is brilliant for it. So Josh Bethune currently in 5th place, trying to chase down a whole bunch of people up ahead, well and truly ahead. Shane Gizzy currently 9th, so he's back out there. That was good work from his crew there. I hope they paid the big dollars. But he's not racing.
They're going to be talking to him after this for having to come back to the pit lane so early. Didn't even complete a lap. So there's a bit of a split race going on here. Those who had to do the pit stop and those who, they tiptoed their way through what was a pretty exciting opening couple of corners. Well, speaking of exciting, here is a little bit of jostling going on, bit of slipstreaming down into the tight right-hander. And just gingerly as you like, Jacob Smith there, currently in the 2nd position. So holding off Marco Giltrap. He's all over the back of him.
I think Marco's sussed that hairpin out. He seemed to have more flow through there. The problem is it's an off-camber when you're going into it and downhill, so your braking's a little bit oddball. And then you've got to go around a right-hander that also leans to the left as you're trying to control your car. This is a brilliant turn. This is just go for gold all the way down there into the final turn. Now, when they come up to turn number 1, you'll see they fly down the front straight, and then the braking on this is in fact opposite to that hairpin because they're braking uphill here. They brake uphill so they can go a little bit later. They chuck it in without hitting that yellow curb because it'll throw the car all over the place. And then they've got to deal with a very slight curve in the track, no big deal. This hairpin here, again, is an uphill braking, no big problem. It's just really slow. It's just those who try to go too fast, and it is. It's a very, very quick.
Oh, speaking of fast, there was a spinner out in front there.
Yeah.
Was that a lap traffic?
I reckon it's debris. I'm saying I can see it everywhere. I'm seeing stuff all over the place. Nuts, bolts. There's
I need to
debris.
turn my graphics setting up because I can't see what you can see.
I'm seeing debris everywhere.
Debris.
If I
What's
was
her
race
name
control, I would call race control for all the debris. See, and there's the other right-hander. Down they come into the left-hander 3, into the 4, and the safety car is on the circuit. I've been told by race control it's out.
Cool. So those who are not a lap down, and like the Giz, he's not a lap down. So he's got the benefit of having come in, cleaned his car, got some tyres on it, and we know what's... do we need to say anything more about the New Zealand Grand Prix?
Has
he
actually
got from the back?
Has he got the skill set to win from the pit lane or anything like that? Can he do things like that?
Just watch. This is just going to be entertainment plus. I can assure you.
The safety car is apparently out. There it is. I can see the Porsche exiting pit lane. He'll come out and gather the drivers together. McCutcheon will be like, well, we know what he'll be saying. But anyway, McCutcheon leads the way. Yeah.
How many between me and Giz? How many? Please tell me. You'll have a spoiler in his ear. But the good thing for those who are iRacing followers is that the programmers have actually improved the safety car modelling, and so race control have the ability, if everybody catches up, we will only go one lap under safety. So let's hope that those who have pitted are able to catch up to the back of the train, and then we're let loose because there's still 10 laps to play in this one. So there's a lot of time for those who have had their fast repairs, they've done their damage and got the nerves out the way and had the car repaired. So they're going to charge through from the back of the field. So this is going to be all on.
Yeah, it will be an interesting thing.
This will be a mission, I tell you.
Yeah, and Gizzy is not at the back of the field either. He doesn't have to get around the likes of Cockerton, Evans, Wooten, Mullany, Skeets or Penrose. He's sitting in 9th. And Ngātaua, who is equally as quick, is right there in 8th position. Shepherd is in 7th. That'll be intriguing for it because he hasn't done a lot of sim, Ryan Shepherd. I believe he'll be back and doing the 86s again this season, I think I saw. So, Timpoli, Bethune, Gilchrist, there's Gizzy, currently 9th. Now, why is he hanging back? Is he playing games?
Yeah, come on, mate. There's Kenny Smith, number 11. Is that Kenny?
No, I can't imagine it. No.
Did he do a wild card? It's anonymous, number 11 with Kenny Smith in a single-seater. Come on.
Yeah. Actually, that'll be interesting. All right, so we're watching the field start to close up, and then the safety car will disappear, and we'll get underway on lap 6 of 15.
Still only halfway through this lap, so still a lot of time for those guys to pull in. So I'm praying that race control has seen enough of a bunch field and go to let them loose this time round. There's Gizzy just foxing back. You look at him getting the slingshot. I'm calling it.
Yeah,
I'm calling it.
I think he's further back. I think he's further back than 9th, though. I'm not sure that our timing board is fully accurate because they actually end up.
Lights are still on safety car. We're going around one more time.
Okay, one more to reset. All right. Well, that's no biggie. It just means it's more fun for the sprint to the end for our green to checker. Keeping the tyres warm, remembering that the modelling is quite realistic. These drivers will have to sort this out. Actually, I saw one of the drivers moving position, so there might have been a redress there. The modelling is brilliant. They have to do exactly what they do in the real world.
Yeah, they'll have on their display, on their screens, they've got a heads-up display. It'll be telling them which cars they have to line up behind, whether they need to pass. I don't know whether the race control are going to do any waiver rounds for the lap down field, but we'll adopt a little bit of the American system and do some waiver rounds maybe, but doesn't appear to be. So they're going to hold station. Gizzy's still holding back.
Yep,
well,
and
he's
it does
done
look
so many
like
hours on a sim.
Yeah, and it's officially looks like he is in 9th position, so it will be quite a good race, quite a good battle. But they're almost like, I guess there's no reason to close up yet. We've still got half a lap to jog around and get the tyres sorted and get that Porsche out of the way. We don't want it on the track.
The lights are off on the Porsche. The lights are off, so we are going to go green this time round.
Okay, so they come up around turn number 2. They're heading up the crest here. Little fun section of the track where they can get into a position to align themselves for a passing manoeuvre on the downhill hairpin, which you can see them coming down here. And it is downhill, so they have to brake a little bit earlier than they want to. Then their brains would say, actually, I could brake at the 50 or the 75, but they've actually got to do it at the 75 to 100 because it's downhill. And you can see it throws you out in the sand if you overshoot and get it wrong. And they come through, they go hard up right here, And then you've got another opportunity, if you're in the right place on the slipstream, on this left-hander, to duck quickly down the inside and just clip the ripple strip there and make a passing manoeuvre. It's a courageous one, but you can do it. Round here, unlikely. Generally, they're going too quick, too fast, and you don't want to go side by side here because you lose your grip in the marbles on the outside and you're off into the beach. Then the right-hander, before they head down to the final turn, they can bury the boot all the way out of there and they'll be full power, launching all the way up the circuit over a very, very fine crest. It's a blind corner, but once it appears, they'll see the 150, 150 boards. They can choose where they want to brake. They probably won't brake too hard here into this right-hander. They might jump down 1 or 2 gears, depending on how they like to drive. Bury the boot into the final turn. Again, another downhill run, and we're away for a lap. So McCutcheon, he buries it. He doesn't want to take the risk, the opportunity of others jumping him at the start. He gets underway very quickly, and we watch the field wind their way up, and this time a rolling start into the turn number 1. Gizzy's going to go down the inside. He's thinking about it. He just grabs the edge of that ripple, that berm. You don't want to go over it. It'll unsettle the car, and then all sorts of nasty things happen. Caleb Natoa is under attack. Now, is that Shepherd there? Is Shepherd busting a move up the inside? Natoa, there goes Gizzy. Yeah, he got it wrong on that right-hander.
Yeah, so Gizzy took that spot just like taking candy from a baby. Now he's on the run here, up to the tight right-hander. He's going out really wide. He's going to try and get a... Oh, he's gone whoop too wide.
Yeah.
Missed the apex. Well, he couldn't turn down because Shepherd had got in there under brakes. So that was a brave move from Shepherd. Very Kimi Räikkönen-ish in the Ferrari-looking...
Very true. But good awareness from Gizzy to know he was there too, because it tried to cut in earlier and take a racing line, but it would have made contact. So he knew he was there. But now he's got a bit of airtime between them, so it's not a problem. But there's a fair bit of work involved if he wants to catch these ones up front. He doesn't have the time span. Yep, someone's gone off wide. Yeah, someone went off the track, and they're still there, so they're safe. But there's only 7 laps remaining, so there it's a redress. One of the drivers had to pull right back, given the automatic time penalty by race control, the automatic race control, and they penalise you hard if you go off track. There goes Giz again, hits that curb, it bounces him back, and he got a great run. He doesn't care that the door's been slightly closed. He'll push it open with his toe, and away he gets into it. Watch the two jostle in front, make a big executive decision on when to brake. He brakes late. Wow, he broke late there. He braked late there, Andrew, and he ducked up the inside of 2 on a hairpin.
Yeah, he picked up 2. That was easy as you like through there. So it looks like the car ahead, he's just going to pick him off. I was picking the rear wing on the back of that car has been a bit dislodged. That's car number 2, Gilchrist. So his straight line speed will be greatly reduced by that damaged rear wing he has there. So Gizzy's through now. He's up into the top 5. Must have a lap competitor up ahead, because there's certainly on my count there's 5 cars ahead, and it's showing Gizzy in the 5th position. So he's on lap number 9 at the moment. Still got 6 to go. There's plenty of time to bridge the gap, and don't count him out at this stage.
Yeah, exactly. So it's still McCutcheon, Smith, Bethune, Giltrap, and now Gisbergen moved up 4. Gizzy, of course, was leading the race. He started on pole. You can see the rear wing there of Brock Gilchrist. So, and as Andrew said, it will cost them a lot of speed, and it did, because Natoa now goes up the inside, but he'll stay in the running, Gilchrist. He won't pull into the pits for repairs. He'll keep out there for as long as he can. There's 5 to go on board with Caleb. And here we are. So, was there a small mistake of some kind? Because that was a massive catch-up. Heavy on the uphill brakes going into the turn number 2 hairpin. Locks up the tyres a little bit, but gets away with it. Releases the brake pressure immediately to get some turn. Gets it pulled through and is right in behind. So that's well done for a slightly damaged car. I'm actually really impressed with the way he's driving it. There's no quitting going on. Meanwhile, right up front is Matt McCutcheon with Smith and Bethune, and it is quite juicy for positions number 2 and 3 at the moment. I'm not sure which one of those is the lap traffic, Andrew. One of them is.
Yeah, car number 7, I think it is. I saw this, the white with the green stripe there. That's,
so that'd be Skeets. Right, so technically
Skeets
back in
showing
13th.
further down the timing board, but he's got good pace. He's actually hanging in there. So he's putting on good entertainment, but I'm sure the guys will be wanting to displace him. And Skizzy's closing the gap there. He's going to be close enough to get the slipstream nearly next time down on the run down, the long run downhill into turn 2. So here uphill on board with Marco Giltrap. Just a little bit wide of the apex. He's staying off the yellow sausage. But he's in the toe there, so he's actually quite happy that Skeets is there, because Skeets is just dragging him along here as they get the fast. Well, he's just showing the nose, saying, oh, come on, I need to get past because this man's coming. You can see him in the mirror.
And he's the last of the late breakers, is Gizzy. Goodness me, he breaks late on that turn. He's got a lot of confidence in his tyres.
He was taking a very go-kartish line there, not taking it right tight down to the apex and trying to keep the mid-corner speed up, keep that rolling speed up through the middle. And he's right in this now. He's down the inside of Marco. Marco's locked up. He's seen the current New Zealand Grand Prix champion coming through, and we know he won that from the pit lane. So is he going to do this in this race? It's kind of like scripted.
By right, Skeets is in his way, but he's not hindering as such. He is racing, so he's got every right to be there.
Still plenty of time to play, and I'm sure Skeets will do the right thing and not affect the outcome of this race. And so if he knows that he's vulnerable to getting past, he'll let Gizzy through without too much of a battle.
This will be a stellar effort if it continues like this. Well, this is going to be...
Oh, this is looking pretty dicey.
It's a bit dodgy coming into turn 1 like this. Skeets will have to back down.
And he does.
Yep, Skeets backs off. Now, does anybody go over? Yes, you see what I was saying? As soon as you go over that sausage, you lose massive momentum. These cars are not made for that. They're not touring cars. They can't do it. Losing 2, maybe 3 spots. So Natoa moves up as well. And Andrew, so Bethune was the one who hit that curb, and you don't want to do it. These little ripples, you can get away with it a little bit. You don't want to bury the boot because you will potentially spin, but you hit those big curbs and the cars are all over the place. So here is Natoa having a good shot from 5th, trying to get through on Giltrap for 4th place. He will do, and maybe Bethune might get through later as well. I just wonder if Marco's just lost his mojo a little bit there, but as you said earlier in the race, he's got every right to be a little bit tired. It's not like he's race fit at the moment, even on a simulator. McCutcheon currently 1st with a decent enough gap back to Smith, but with Gizzy right there, on 3rd position with still, well, technically 13, 14, 15, 3 laps remaining, there is every opportunity. Not only will Gizzy drive fast, he'll wait for one of these two to make a very, very small mistake and see what happens. So let's watch them go through turn 1. See if anyone hits that yellow sausage under pressure. Do they break 5 meters later than normal? Or do they keep their game on? Perfect driving from all. Look at Giz. He rides it every single time.
Look at that gap just plummeting. Look at it on the screen there. It's just dropping like a stone, and Giz is in the slipstream. I don't think he's going to take a dive bomb. Well, he's gone defensive, Jacob. No. And saying that, he does send it. Gets alongside. Smith gets bumped to the outside. Well, he didn't actually make contact, but he knew he was there and done. So he just left him alone and let him have the racing line. So Shane now in the 2nd position. McCutcheons will be thinking, oh, there just wasn't enough cars between us.
Incredible. So now McCutcheon, see there? There was a little bit of pressure there. McCutcheon probably looked behind in the mirror, realised Shane was there. He braked 5 meters later than normal, and he nearly went into the sand. He's got to focus on his task with the 3 laps or 2 laps really remaining and keep his speed up. Hit the braking points, hit the apexes, get your exit speed right, and don't worry about SVG following in behind yet. The focus is on for both of these drivers. At the moment, I would say it's the chaser who would have the bets on at the TAB. But if McCutcheon can do this, if McCutcheon can just focus and not make a mistake and drive defensively, which he's quite capable of doing, hold the inside line. There goes Giz right on the edge of the ripple again. He uses it, I think, to pull himself around.
It's closing. It's closing. He's in the toe.
And McCutcheon knows
that he's going to the inside.
Yep, he's going to force Gizzy. force Giz to try and pass around the outside or do a switch. And there's no opportunity to do that. But now there are two opportunities for passing here, one down the inside or outside, depending on where McCutcheon goes, as they brake heavily into the hairpin. Now, McCutcheon went inside. Giz thought about the out. I don't think he'll get a switch here. He might be able to dive down the inside, but then they'll go single file for the next two turns unless something dramatic happens. Here we go. There it is on the inside. You can't do it on the next bit. But he was very close to doing it. This one, they won't bother. It's too fast. No point taking the big risk. Do it on the next one, which is just coming up now. The final turn. Well, in fact, the second to last turn. And they head downhill. Where will McCutcheon go? He has to hold his line on the outside now. Gizzy tries the high-speed turn on the inside. He will force wide. He had to brake a little bit harder. He knew it. But here they come.
He's in the tow again, up the front straight here as they get to the top of the hill. McCutcheon goes early, he goes defensive. Shane's going to go down the outside. Oh, they nearly make wheel contact. Now Shane's going to go the long way.
What do you say? What do you say? I mean, stunning driving by both of these drivers, awareness of each other. They gave racing room. They both had equal racing lines and rights to be on the turn, and they made it stick. And then he does a lot more casual entry into turn number 2 because he's got the momentum. Again, he hits the curb absolutely perfect to just push the car around the turn, and away he goes and leaves the rest of them. Now it's McCutcheon. He just lost his momentum. And look what's going to happen.
He's down the inside, although it's flicking between the two of them. I think Smith's in the prime position. Oh, and he's just hung in there around the outside. So look at Skeets is still trying to sweat on these guys here. He's not going to unlap himself from second and third, so kind of spoiling a little bit of the battle, but he's entitled to have a go.
Yeah, he is. He's absolutely, he's allowed to have a crack at it. As long as he doesn't hinder them, he can try and make himself on the lead lap again. Or, well, he is on the lead lap, but no, he can't be, can he? Because if he's there and considered to be in 13th, he must be down. So, yeah, technically. All right, well, there is Gizzy, and we will come through for the final lap. Was that the checkered flag?
Oh,
yes, it was.
Discount. Yeah, it was. So, Gizzy.
Yes. We missed the white flag. So, okay, that was Andrew's fault, not mine. Gisbergen wins the race ahead of McCutcheon with Smith, Bethune. Giltrap did a stellar job to stay into 5th place. Natoa, probably not where he wanted to be, in 6th with Cockett, Gilchrist, Shepherd. Evans, Timperley, Wooten, Skeets, Mulney and Penrose. So that is your official results. Now, here is what is going to happen. You stay watching the broadcast, everyone. You just stay with it. We will stay here in the background while we jump in our plane. I've organised you a private jet, by the way, Andrew. That's how I roll.
Sweet.
Okay.
Which row am I in? What row?
You get the whole front half of it to yourself. I've got the back half, and there's three stewardesses who are going to feed us grapes as we fly across. Wow. Yeah, we're going to fly quickly over to England, and we're going to Brands Hatch, England. So we'll be there shortly. Everyone, do not go away. We're going to go Audi racing next.
Can you hear me all right on the broadcast, Sooty?
I can, and so can everyone else now, Andrew.
Right, that's good because I've got a lot to say.
Yeah,
Mate.
excellent. All right. Well, I tell you what, we're going to say nothing. We'll
Your
go
man.
quiet. Yeah, that's right. Look, how was the flight, by the way, Andrew? Was it good?
Oh, mate, geez, I tell you what, it's pretty bumpy coming into Brands Hatch these days, but
Yeah,
it's all good.
Yeah, good.
I'm just excited. Tin tops, mate. Tin tops, sim racing, panels, rubbing. Move aside those open wheelers. They're good for a spectacle, but this is where we get a little bit more neck codish. We get a little bit more up close to our neighbours and just say, well, look, I don't like your livery. I'm going to give you a bit of my paint and take that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're going to have 5 minutes of practice, which is 3 minutes 40 odd remaining. Then they do their lone qualifying into a 15 lap race, which will again be quite entertaining. So Andrew and I will go quiet for a bit. We'll let you just sit back, everyone, and watch them do some practice laps around the very scenic Brands Hatch, and we will be right back. So welcome along to Brands Hatch, everyone, for our second session of the New Zealand Elite Motorsport Academy Graduate Invitational Esport Challenge. During our lockdown, thanks to Motorsport New Zealand, we have just had our 5-minute practice. The drivers will be refreshed, getting off their private jets and helicopters to the circuit. They've been showered, they've been toweled down, they've got fresh gear, fresh cars, and they're in the Grand Prix circuit of Brands Hatch for 3 laps of qualifying, lone qualifying. They're by themselves. So we're going to go on board with some of them as they're out there, and we're going to start with Liam Skeets. They've basically got a lap to warm their cars up, and then they go hard out for 2 laps. Now, Brands Hatch is a real ripper. This right-hand hairpin gets people all the time. All the time. It's an uphill, downhill, and people over-brake and under-brake, and they over-throttle and they under-throttle. It's all messy. This turn here, you can go right out wide across the track, and then it's an uphill climb around the sharp left-hander. Generally no passing here, but straight out of it there is. Once they get halfway up the hill, and staying on the tarmac, please, Liam, they generally start to split themselves off, and this is where you'll get a braking and passing manoeuvre. They'll come down the hill into the right-hander uphill, and they'll make a pass on the inside. It'll be wild, it'll be loose. Somebody's going to get pushed into the gravel. Can see it happening. All through this infield section, amongst the trees, heaps of passing everywhere. So, people will be ducking and diving and moving all over the place, and getting the opportunity to pass under brakes and cold tyres, Liam. You're still on your outlap, pal. Just sort yourself out. He goes through the left-hander, through all the shadow and the trees, downhill the right-hander, through Brands Hatch. Wonderful track, this Grand Prix circuit. Here you can give it everything. Go hard out, put your foot to the floor, over the crest, down the start-finish line, and hopefully you've got a perfect line and nobody is chasing you, because then you'll be heavy braking into the downhill. And just like Red Bull Ring, you're braking in weird places. That one you're braking downhill. This one you're braking uphill on board. You can see it now. And it is casual. No throttle at all. Just idles it around. Gets off the power, and then floors it, and then there'll be a gentle brake here into the uphill, carrying all the momentum because you don't want to lose your power to go uphill and bog your engine down. Over the crest he goes, and this is where you will see it. Cars will start to split off. Might even hopefully see some 3 wide shenanigans as they go over the crest and downhill into an uphill. Not a massive brake. This one will be fairly high speed unless someone's on the inside of you. Same again here. This right-hander, you can take it fairly pacey. Over the curbs, plenty of circuit used. I'd say Liam's just learning this track. Just working it out and doing a very good job on short notice to do it too. Heads into it. There will be some diving on the left-hander under brakes. Guaranteed. They'll sweep themselves around, and then there'll be a drag race, and it'll be who pulls out first, who backs off, as they come around the last 2 bits heading into the start-finish line. So everyone out here at the moment is doing a lone qualifying, which means exactly that. It's like a top 10 sprint. You know, you do it by yourself. We're with Jacob Smith. See how he takes it. There is Andrew Waite in a Minion Racing. I'd say Andrew is only learning this circuit too, because he got that out. Telling you, people will get that hairpin wrong. They really will. He's all over the place, but he won't back down, will Andrew Waite. Guy knows how to drive cars fast. He's not scared of it. Into the uphill. Got to keep the momentum. You don't want to spend your time trying to power up the hill. You want to be flowing and go for it up to the crest. It's all about tenths. There was an absolutely, now you should Google this, people. You should search for it. There was a YouTube that came out after the Formula 1 at Spa previous weekend, and it analysed the racing lines between Verstappen and Smith. It was, no, Russell. Between first and second, and the tenths that were gained and lost on each turn of a qualifying run. It was a brilliant scientific analysis of what race cars, no matter really what they are, what they go through in a qualifying session, because people like myself and us general motorsport fans watching on, we don't see the fine intricacies. We see the final numbers. But what it did was it analysed drivers like this who decide where and when they are going to brake. Are they going to carry a little bit more speed through a turn and get a disadvantage? Because the whole thing, when you're racing a car, as Andrew will know, it's about compromise, isn't it, Andrew? You're compromising on your race line versus speed versus the geometry of a track. You got to pick and choose which one you're going to do.
Yeah, it's certainly an art, and you either set up your car on a track like this for the fast straight areas, or some of the tighter turns to get power down. So there's so many different scientific ways of setting up a car, and it's constantly trying to find the ideal balance between all of those factors and a little bit of the organic factor in the steering wheel to try and pull it off and get a clean lap. So you're absolutely right, and yeah, the days of today's modern technology to be able to analyze it and see it and ghost overlay graphics of those 2 laps like in Formula One, it's absolutely spectacular. So pretty spectacular there. Rowan Shepherd getting a little bit loose. And one other thing, Sooty, that's just outstanding watching Brands Hatch. Not only it takes me back to when the BTC British touring cars, with Paul Radisich, Craig Beard had a go at it. Some ding-dong battles back in the day. But check out the names of some of these corners. Clark Curve and Surtees. And, we've got a Cooper Straight, Sheen Curve. I mean, this place is just exuding history in it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Brands Hatch is brilliant. It's scenic, it's flowing, it's got so much passing opportunity, and it tests the drivers. It's really everything we want in a racetrack. We're on board with Shane van Gisbergen, currently 3rd. He won't be happy with that. He has held himself to a very high standard as he comes across the line. We'll see what he's done. He might have been, I don't know if he was on an out lap or an in lap or whatever it was, but he's still going. Oh, there we go. There we go. So he's currently leading. So, okay, no problem at all, says Shane. Will that do? Well, we'll keep going. We'll see if we can beat my first position anyway, just to put the pressure on. There he goes, around the right-hand hairpin, which is a real doozy of a turn. It's brilliantly designed, and drivers make a mess of it all the time. So we'll see what happens here, especially on cold tyres on the opening lap of the race, and here on cold tyres, because if they put their foot down too early now, they'll spin out. If they brake too late, they'll scrub off all their speed and end up going off the track. This is a nice line, Andrew, here for Gizzy. He's going for pace, no doubt.
Oh, you don't expect anything less from Shane. He's a master of his craft across anything, be it virtual, be it real world. Open wheelers, tin tops. I mean, the guy's a class act. There's no 2 ways about it. Just one of the most versatile drivers that come out of New Zealand and come through the academy. Let's not forget it, folks. Shane van Gisbergen came through the Motorsport Academy that we were talking about at the opening part of the broadcast, and look at what he's gone on to achieve. It's just absolutely, hats off to him. It's a credit to him, and he's very committed to his sport. It's great to see him. We're here tonight watching him in the virtual world, but rest assured he spends a lot of time in the sim and just keeps honing his craft.
Yeah, and I was watching him go through some of those turns at the back section of the track through the trees, and I've had a go on this track in various cars, and I would have thought, you'd go drop down to 3rd, take it nice and clean around there. He's going in 4th, and he was up changing to 5th. So that's the difference between those who do and people like me who talk about it.
Is that why they call you Little Sooty? Now I get it.
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
Sooty. I've just got it.
Yeah,
finally.
Mate, rather than watching where he was driving, I was watching his gears, and he's hurtling through those turns in 4th, goes into 5th for one of them, and I'm thinking, I'd change down to 3rd here. No, not SVG. He goes up a gear and puts his foot into it. So that is a classic difference of a race car driver and a commentator. So, all right, well, he's finished his qualifying. He will lead the way unless someone does something absolutely spectacular. And now I'm starting to get a little bit buzzy because, like you said earlier, Andrew, tin tops on Brands Hatch. We've seen it with British touring cars. We know what happens, and it's going to happen here. It's kind of cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, look, the tin tops, even though they'll be taking it serious, they'll be able to drive in there, be a little bit more aggressive. They'll be able to rub down the side, and an open wheelie, you just can't do that because you interlock wheels and exit stage left. But in touring cars, I think it's going to work. So turn the net code down and let's let them loose.
Pretty much. Okay, we should be ready now to line up on our grid. We'll wait for race control to start sorting everyone out. We'll get the graphics and let you know exactly who finished where. Yes, the joys of Brands Hatch. What a play. Shane van Gisbergen over Jacob Smith, Matt McCutcheon and Andrew Waite. Look at him go. Taylor Concord and Brooke Gilchrist. Marco Giltrap, Liam Skeets, Caleb Natoa. He won't be happy with that. Brock Timperley is there with Melanie Bethune. Simon, he won't be happy either. Alastair Wooten, he won't be too concerned. Penrose, Shepherd and Hawkswood, because really those lower ones don't do a huge amount of simulation driving. So it won't be a problem. But anyway, it is Gizzy and Smith on the front. And that'll be McCutcheon, Andrew Waite. And you can tell that there's a safety car out there. So this will be a rolling start. I'll wait for race control to confirm that. They won't just do a warm-up and then do a standing start.
No, you're right there, Suri. We've got the lights off on the safety car, so we're going to do one lap under safety car, control conditions, give the guys a chance to get their tyres up.
Which is good. I don't mind that.
Work, and we'll let them loose next time round.
I don't mind that at all. A good lap to warm up those tyres will be very nice, because I don't want them to be backing off a little bit into those opening turns on cold tyres. At least we can get a sort of a warm-up lap temperature into them with Gisbergen, Smith, McCutcheon and Waite, Taylor Cochran, Brock Gilchrist, and then on that fourth row, Giltrap and Skeets. Skeets was really racy. He just got caught up in an incident in our previous battle at Red Bull Ring, but he showed that he had serious pace, because he basically, after the safety car, spent the rest of the race circulating with the boys up the front. Natoa. Now, Natoa will have to do some moves to get himself away from 9th position and further up in the field. He'll be trying to get out of the way, because there could be a little bit of love handle touchy going on with the tin tops. Timperley and Mullany, Bethune and Evans down the order a fair bit in 13th. Alastair Wooten. Now, Alastair, you know, he's done a lot in his time. He's raced a fair few different weapons, both on speedway and the tarmac. And he's actually
we mentioned at the top of the show, one of the aspects that the drivers at the academy are taken through, and a lot of it is fitness. You know, a lot of people underestimate how fit a race driver has to be, and even at a very early age in your career, you know, the guys are put through their paces. You know, the karters these days are very, very fit. Alastair Wooten is a personal trainer. He actually does the personal trainer programs and tests how good these drivers are coming through the ranks. And you know, I know myself, I've been to his gym, I've been on the Watts bike, and he's put me through my paces to complete and utter absolute exhaustion. But yeah, there you go. He's a racer, he's got a lot of skill, but he is very much a very well respected personal trainer and is used by Motorsport. So look, you call it turn one. I'm just going to sit back and you call it, mate.
You're just going to be wishing that you were there as well doing it. Okay, we're coming down the start-finish line now. The lights are green. We are underway with Smith just getting a little bit of a nice start on Shane van Gisbergen, but he is on the outside, so it won't hold, it won't stick, and he could in fact lose 2 or 3 positions if he's in the wrong spot here. He'll get caught up amongst the battle going into the hairpin on turn number 2. He is taking the courageous path. It didn't work. I didn't think it would. He gave it a good shot though, and good on him for trying, but he will get sent way back in the field. And he will shuttle down, and now as they come through 3 and 4, he's gone up the inside of Gizzy, and now Gizzy's going to be left, he's going to be hung out to dry. He's got no choice but to duck in behind. He cannot stay beside and drag race this down. He's going to have to wait, bide his time, and think about a slingshot or an underbrake. He'll try and do a switch on some of these drivers. McCutcheon is up there, Waite is up there. Look at Andrew Waite go. Now, these guys are really good friends. Waitey and Gizzy, they're probably on the same channel talking to each other, and they'll be going at it. And look at McCutcheon. Round the outside, he is a very experienced simulation driver. He knows what was required, but so too does Shane van Gisbergen. And I told you they'd be ducking and diving, and we're only on the first lap, and they're already into it, Andrew.
Oh, they absolutely are. Shane there, he knows where to place. Oh, there's rubbing with his old mate Andrew Waite coming into this final turn. And he's getting the big hip and shoulders out on the grass. For Waitey, he's going rally crossing.
Oh, poor Ed. I can imagine the Discord channel.
Yeah, they'll be going off on the channel for sure, 100%. So unfortunately, the Minion race has been dispatched to the back of the field. So Andrew, he's got a lot of pace. He'll come through. Here we are on board with Marco Giltrap, just on the top 10. So a little bit further back than the open wheels we saw him early on. McCutcheon's now out to the front. Gizzy's sweating all on the back of him. So this is just going to be enthralling to watch over the 15 laps of Brands Hatch.
Caleb Nato has moved himself from 9th into 6th. That's due to a couple of good passes, but also the demise of some of the other drivers. Skeets is in 5, and here comes Gizzy now. Now, I told you on the warm-up lap how this is going to work, people, and during our qualifying, you can end up going 3 wide over this hill if everything goes to plan for some of these drivers. They're doing it 2 wide, and this is Gizzy at his best. We see him doing this in the real world, and he's not afraid to do it here. He is going left and right. He is playing games with the drivers in front and behind. He is mind gaming them, and it's incredible to watch. There we are. We were on board with McCutcheon. Look at the pace. Now that's pressure. That is real world pressure. There's been a little bit of a love tap.
Yeah,
you
coming
expected
through
that.
Dingle. So Dingledale's a renowned high-speed, unbalanced section of the circuit. We watch them all filing through here under the bridge. Shane's positioning himself on the outside. Going to have a look. Skeets is fighting behind. Is it? No, Gilchrist and Cockerton. Taylor Cockerton's having a go. Here we are on board with Shane. He's going the long way around the outside. Is McCutcheon's going to give him room, or is he going to feed him to the grass? Shane, yeah, he's just having to drift back. He doesn't want to get caught out where his old mate Andrew Waite was.
Well, he's going to take the inside line onto turn number 2, and it's a very smart move. But if he stays there, he'll still get left to dry on 3 and 4. You just can't hang there. He's got to think of something else. But again, he doesn't have to make the move there. All he's got to do is play mind games with McCutcheon, and he'll be having a lot of fun doing it. I mean, Shane loves to race. He doesn't just like to circulate at high speed. He actually enjoys this part of it. The racing is what keeps him going. Brock Gilchrist is in 3rd with Cockerton in 4. Natoa and Skeets are 5 and 6. Waite is in 7, so he is moving up a couple, but he's got a lot of work to do before he can catch these guys up here who are doing it again and again because he's on the wrong side to make anything stick here. He can get pushed if he's not careful. He does it. He must have got just enough speed on the exit to get around, and McCutcheon had no choice but to duck him behind. Well, I didn't see that coming, Andrew.
No, look, how many of Shane's passes are made in places you just don't expect it. You know, he catches the driver out, and that's what it's such a that's why he's such a class act. He just catches the drivers napping. But in this formula, the moment he's not going to gap away, and he's just lost a little bit of momentum. McCutcheon's here trying to get an overlap, and Gilchrist is all over the back of these. So it's a 4-way battle here out the front because Cockerton's put his nose down the inside. Now he's up into the 3rd position.
Yep, he'll have a great run too.
Coming through behind him is Natoa.
Yeah, but look what Gilchrist did. He did the right move. He blocked Natoa off and said, hang on, fella, I'm not going to give you that. You just settle down. You didn't qualify as fast as me, so you can just wait your turn. They've made contact, but they're still on it, and they are all over. I told you we're going to have some 3 wides. It's going to happen. There's Andrew Waite further back, but in front of him is Skeets, Natoa, and Gilchrist, so he's got a lot of work to do. Not only to get into that battle, he's trying really hard to get around Skeets.
It's a brave man to try and hang it on the outside there, but Andrew Waite, he's starting to buy into this, so he's showing the form in these cars that we know he's got. He's an accomplished driver. You know, people will know him from being the Highlands Park professional driver, and there's a little bit of a rub, and he's gone back rally crossing, so I just give him the commentator's curse.
Well, Audi's known for it.
Andrew, DJ40.
Audi has a reputation for off-roading and rallying, so it's not a big deal. It's kind of there, sort of, not really the right tyres or suspension, but hey, it's okay. It's got the 4 circles, or is it 5 circles? No, it's 4 circles. Don't get ahead of yourself. That's the Olympics. Okay, so there's a good race going on here now. Gizzy, he's not pulling away, but given that these cars are equal, you'd expect it to be nice and close like it is, and it's just brilliant right now. McCutcheon is still there. Gilchrist, Natoa, Cockerdon, Timperley, Giltrap. Weight has dropped down to 8. He's got a lot of work to do. Now, student driver, please be patient, is one of the best graphics you could ever put on a race car. Full credit for that one. Natoa tries down the inside again and has had the door absolutely slammed by McCutcheon. Meanwhile, Gilchrist thinks about inside, outside. I'll take the wide line, which is super courageous. He's there again. He will get pushed out if he's not careful. He gets a little tap, but he's able to hold on to it. Natoa is now in a bad spot. He's got to be careful here. Could lose massive position. They're side by side. 2 drivers. No, Natoa's through, I think, but he just about lost a spot to Cockerdon. So now the positions are changing in 4, 5, 6, 7. Weight up to 7. Timperley in 6. Cockerdon 5. Caleb Natoa now comfortable in 4. He'll be trying to take on Gilchrist.
There's contact with Waddy back there.
Again, oh, hang on. Hang on.
Timperley's got... Oh my goodness, he's upside down.
I might not know a lot about physics. I might not have done physics at school, but when you're on your roof, it's not that fast.
Yeah, no, I don't know whether the safety workers will be able to get to them. You know, the marshals on here. Unfortunately, we don't have the Motorsport Club as virtual assistants. Otherwise,
yeah, they would have been there.
But,
okay, let's get into this.
Gisbergen, McCutcheon's, Gilchrist. This bunch is just not separating, and it goes all the way back to 10th position, just about. Was contact. They've got wheels rubbing. Natoa there on the outside. It's just been dispatched. Now that's allowed. Has it allowed a pass on the inside? I'm losing track. Wait, he's coming around the outside. Look at him go.
It can't. He's no way he can stay there. That's not going to happen on turn number 1. He's there, but he'll get left behind. Yeah, he does. So he has to back off a little bit. Meanwhile, the Gizzy heavy under brakes in a defensive move coming into turn number 2 has allowed everyone to catch up again and catch up in a wild position. McCutcheon's not in the right spot. There goes, I think, Cockerdon. Wild. Yes, he does. He loses a couple of spots as he mixes it up with Skeets and Giltrap. So Cockerdon drops right back down.
McCutcheon's just got the big hip and shoulders from Gilchrist.
And 2 more of them
to get back down the inside. We're going to... Oh, I thought we were going to go 3 wide down the hill.
Well, 2 more of them have gone off the track. So they got thrown out the back. So that's got them out of it. That was Skeets and Cockerdon. They've had a mess up around the back end, so they're out of it basically. We are in lap 6 of 15, by the way. You'd think this was only the last couple of laps to go. No, this is all on, and here we go. Those up front are going to cause problems to each other and allow the rest to come through. It has happened. Weight is going to move right up into the fight now. McCutcheon is pushed in to 3rd. Smith is up to 4. Gilchrist. Evans has moved up. Simon Evans, we haven't heard from him all race, and suddenly, but look at this. Andrew Waite has gone from 8th position. Well, he was 2nd at one point.
10th.
Yeah, he goes down the field, and now he's passed. He has passed old mate Shane. And I wonder if these two are playing a little bit of Talladega Nights with each other. If they're on the radio to each other going, oh, mate, you go in front for a while, eh? So,
I want to go fast.
It's shake and bake, baby, with Wadey, Gisbergen. McCutcheon's thinking, oh, come on. How did these two get in front of me? Smith is there. Simon Evans is in 5th. Now, he is also one of that pack, that mob of fellas who came through school and karting and racing together. So Simon Evans was in 5th place, and he'll be looking on going, all right, how do I get up into the front 3 here and start messing with these guys? He's not far away from it. Oh, 2 wide. Andrew Wade under brakes. He's made a mistake on his own. He'll lose 2 spots, slot into 3rd. He won't have all the momentum coming up the hill either. And that will allow Smith and Evans into the play. So that was the small mistake. There they are, Smith and Evans, wiggling the cars uphill under brakes. And Gizzy's back in front. Evans is having a smack around with someone. I'm not sure who it is. It's Cockerdon, I think.
The student driver's in the middle of that, so his L plate's up and watched. Gilchrist here is having a... Well, you're not going to see the contact, are you? It's yellow on yellow, so just play on. But they're still too wide. Oh, there's someone gone exit stage left.
Yes, that is Gilchrist. So it's Gilchrist and Evans punching each other in the 2 yellow machines. They're having their own little boxing fight. Gloves are up, and they're going for it. There's no defence here. It's full attack up front. Gisbergen, McCutcheon again. So, look, we are halfway through and we've had like 4 position changes up front. Expect more. Van Gisbergen has made a few rare mistakes. He's lost position. So don't think that he's going to be perfect all the way around this race. He couldn't use any more of the track coming through turn 1, and under brakes, he's in the middle of the circuit so no one can get him. And there is a tail marker, Andrew. So he'll get in the way.
Traffic is coming up, it's looming, and how many times in a race have we seen traffic ends up playing its way through? Talking about playing their way through. Oh my goodness, out exit stage right, coming through one of the downhill high-speed sections. So anyhow, these guys up front, it's not over yet. So who are we picking up? Is that in the front there?
I think it's Hawkswood. I think it's Hawkswood. Right. I'm not quite sure. I don't quite pick up. Yeah, Hawkswood. Okay.
Oh, he's trying to get out the way, but he's going to position himself in a very awkward place. But meanwhile, our leaders are through the front pack. Well, it's put a little bit of gap back to Jacob Smith. But McCutcheon's here. He's still trying to go the long way. He's rally crossing.
And he does not care. He just keeps the foot in it. Most people back off, but no. In fact, pretty much everyone, apart from Gizzy's, been out on the grass and kept their foot right in it and done some rallying here. And now look at Andrew Wade. He's having another go. He's come back from 4th to 3rd to 10th to 8th to 7th to 1st. He's all over the place in positions. It's like he doesn't care. It's like he doesn't own the car. And really, he's flashing his lights at Shane Van Gisbergen. I love it. I love every second of it.
Oh, Wade's out wide. He's got on the marbles and he's lost a couple of spots. He's going to shuffle himself to the back of the train. And number 5 going back, and that's Simon Evans.
So Simon Evans has gone from like 10th or 11th up into 4th. He's now with his mate there, Andrew Wade. Smith was flashing his headlights at Shane Van Gisbergen and say, get out of the way, I'm coming through. I mean, talk about mind games. McCutcheon has moved all the way back from 5th into 2nd place. And now Andrew Wade and Simon Evans. Oh, hang on. No, Simon Evans has dropped down. It's the other yellow car, is it?
Is a little bit, he's at the front of the backpack there.
Yes.
So, yeah, he's trying to drag himself back up.
It's Gilchrist. That's who's there, because I saw the 2 yellow cars. So Gilchrist has moved himself into 4th in front of Andrew Waite. And I guarantee you, those 5 cars and behind these front 5, they're going to catch up. They will catch up, because we're only on lap 9 of 15. And then it'll be all on once more. This single file isn't going to last. Well, unless they could have messed up their tyres. Some of them might have put too much pressure on the fronts.
Yeah, Evans has already got his freight train joining this one, so we're back to mob racing.
Yep.
There's a big pack here coming down under the bridge.
How defensive is SVG driving?
Gilchrist this time, he's going to go around the outside. And how many times have we seen this just not pay any dividends? Andrew Waite now is tucked on the inside, is he? No, he's going to get the slipstream and make it 3 wide into turn 1.
Well, he backs down. He realises that's not really going to work, but it slotted him into a good position, straight into 4th with a great run up the hill, but he's on the outside. Not the best place to be. He can lose 2 or 3 spots there if he's not careful. The advantage is if he can hold it, he'll have the inside running, and he does. Oh, no, there's McCutcheon's out. McCutcheon's been taken out, and there he is gone. So he will be out of the running. There's no way he'll come back from there, not when we are on 10 of 15. Smith is out as well. They were both front runners, and look at the state of it. Yeah, that's some very messy cars. So we have lost Smith. We've lost all sorts. But up the front, Shane Van Gisbergen still leads the pack. Matt McCutcheon gone, but now it's Waity, Gilchrist, and Simon Evans out of nowhere again has moved himself into the... I told you, I should be one of these predictors that charge a whole lot of money to tell people the future. Is there a career in that, Andrew? Is there?
Hey, if anyone can make a career out of it, you can. Look, you've made a career out of talking. Come on.
Up front, Shane Van Gisbergen, Matt McCutcheon and Andrew Waite. No Matt McCutcheon. No Andrew Waite. You wouldn't think about it. It's Gilchrist and Evans. Now, you'll be going, hang on. They were down 10th. They moved up a little bit. They were thrown back off the track. How did they get through? Because other people have crashed out. This is racing. You've got to stay in it to win it. And down the outside Coming through the start-finish straight is Carr, Gilchrist and Evans. Both of them, no way. Because now Andrew Waite's going, okay, guys, you want to do this? Oh, there's a touch for Gizzy. He's held on to it, and through goes Student Driver with a little bit of a love tap on the car. Oh, dear.
Oh, Gizzy's taking out his mate Andrew Waite.
Again.
So, that's going to come from the Discord. That'll be busting up there big time.
Yep, but now here comes Simon Evans out of nowhere once more. So Brock Gilchrist is now leading the race. Our student driver graphics, Gilchrist is leading. Shane van Gisbergen is in second. I'm staying calm here to keep you going through what's going on, people. Simon Evans has got himself into third spot. Caleb Natoa, who was way down in ninth and sort of really out of it, is suddenly in fourth position. Taylor Cockerton has come back into fifth. Alastair Wooten is just behind Mullany for 6 and 7. Andrew Wade is down in 9. The chances now, 4 laps, unlikely. But there is a big opportunity here for the top 3 to change. That is Simon Evans not doing it the right way. That's not the way to do it. There is 15, Caleb Natoa chasing down Evans, who went off track. And look at the state of that Audi. Goodness me.
There's going to be a few repairs needed after this. I tell you what, the store and these guys' iRacing's account is going to have a big damage bill, I can tell you that much.
Well, because he's back in
into turn 1 again. Oh, he's giving him a love tap. Oh, he sent him.
They're both
sent him
out.
into the fence.
They're both in the gravel. It's good night nurse for those two. But does Shane,
trying to get out.
Does he back off at all through there? Even to slightly lift the throttle? I don't think so. But he's barging his way past old mate Simon Evans, and now the positions have changed again because Caleb Natoa is leading this race with Taylor Cockerton in second, and they will be laughing. Guarantee you they'll be, yes, serious, yes, because they're race car drivers, but they'll also be laughing about how they've come from basically the back of the field to leading this race. Caleb Natoa, Taylor Cockerton, Shane van Gisbergen somehow is in third. I mean, in real life, Andrew, that would have been a black flag, wouldn't it? The tap?
Oh. Turn a blind eye, mate. Come on.
Right, okay, I don't know what I'm saying. Simon Evans is in fourth position with Liam Skeets down in 5. Andrew Wade has moved up a couple into 6. But, yeah, unless there's more dramas, which there very well could be right now, because Natoa is like, where did you come from, Shane? I saw you in the gravel. Half a lap ago, you were in the gravel and out of this race, and now you're beside me at the back section of the circuit. How did that happen? Anyway, he's there. Cockerton's there. Evans is still in fourth. Doesn't quite have the pace at this stage of the front 3, but he'll probably be watching. Just sort of waiting. You just bide your time. Natoa out front. Gizzy can't last, surely. Can't last. Gisbergen, Cockerton, Evans and Waite. Way down is Wadey. It's all about, well, we were a top 8 at one point. Now we're a top 4. What's your plan of attack here, Andrew? What would you be doing?
Look, if I was just thinking at the Natoa out the front, he succumbed to the pressure of knowing Shane van Gisbergen's behind him. And Shane's the last person I'd want to have in my rearview mirror, I can tell you that. Especially with the front of that Audi looking like it is. He's not scared of using the bumpers. But meanwhile, it's now Gisbergen. He's cycled back to the front. He's got ahead of Cockerton. Natoa's dropped back to third. So the 2 Red Bulls are behind the Red Bull driver, which is a bit ironic, and a bit of a shortcut going on down the grass to get the overlap. And Andrew Waite's back with his good mate Simon Evans. Those two will be having an absolute hysterical laugh on the Discord of what they can see out the front window.
Well, hand up from me. My bad. I thought when Andrew Waite was down in 9th position a couple of laps ago, he was out. There was no chance he could come back. And now he has the opportunity, and he's doing it right in front of our eyes. He's suddenly in 4th spot. Now, how on earth has he got a NOS bottle that we don't know about? How did he get from 9th to 4th with the opportunity to pass down the inside for 3rd? No, doesn't quite do it. He's still in 4th. But this is an absolute beauty. You have Shane van Gisbergen, Caleb Natoa, Simon Evans, Andrew Waite and Taylor Cockerton with Liam Skeets turning up now. I think it's because of this fighting so much they're slowing themselves down because look at Skeets. He's come through into 4th from absolutely nowhere. Has Liam Skeets. He was way down. He's going to come through. He's going to take out Andrew Waite and say, hey, get out of here, pal. You don't belong. So Andrew Waite has been given the short, sharp shift because Liam came through at 495 kilometres per hour with no brakes and took out Andrew Waite, and now that jostling and fighting going on behind is letting Shane van Gisbergen walk away with this on our, what is this, the second to last lap?
Yeah, we're on the penultimate lap at the moment, so yeah, look, this is the biggest gap that Shane's had all race, but it ain't over yet, and certainly the minor places are being scrapped out like it's for sheep stations. So the 2 Red Bull cars going out at the moment, it's Gisbergen, Evans, Natoa and Cockerton. And then, well, Alastair Wooten, what a great performance. We haven't really called up much of him tonight, but in the Audis, but he's just kept his nose clean and it's come through. So the benefits of driving wisely is paying off. As we've got another one out on the grass. There we go. Evans is going rally crossing. So he's now fallen back into the clutches of Natoa and Cockerton. So that battle pack is closing up, and I think maybe is Gizzy just checking them up. He doesn't want to push on and use up his tyres too much as they come round to take the white flag. One more lap of Brands Hatch to go. And, oh, there's an overlap here down the inside. Is this Evans? He's going to get there.
He's going to get him on the inside and he won't care about it. In fact, he'll love it because that is going to be the perfect banter at the barbecue. This is exactly what you want. We want this on our final lap. Further back, there is some loving going on between Natoa and Cockerton. Cockerton just the lesser there. So Simon Evans goes down the inside because Gizzy had a good run of him coming out of turn number 2. We are on the final lap. Gizzy back in front, and here comes Natoa for the big push. And that could push Shane off the circuit. And it nearly does. Natoa backs off a little bit. And here is the 3 wide I've been waiting for. I said it at the beginning. You can go 3 wide coming up the hill and over the crest. It drops down to 2 wide. It's a drag race. And this is letting Simon Evans from absolutely nowhere get away with the lead of the race while these 3 battle punch for 2nd, 3rd and 4th spots. Gizzy, he's bobbing and diving because he knows there's no race control. No call to the steward's room afterwards. He's saying to Natoa, mate, there's only one way you're getting around, and that's by taking me out of the race completely. Natoa gets a little bit loose, loses his momentum. That's going to let Cockerton come through. It does. Natoa got it all wrong. And Gizzy's given him the touch. There was the touch on Simon Evans that got him a little loose coming in. And there it is now. Has Evans lost all of his momentum? Yes, he has. Because coming through, they've had a touch. No. That's disappointing.
Alastair was going for the move to get on the podium, but he's not able to do it in the last turn. It's still busting up. Meanwhile, Shane van Gisbergen's come across. Who's coming through at a great rate of knots?
They don't care anymore.
It's Gisbergen, then McCutcheon, Skeets, Evans, Natoa. No, it's still sorting itself out.
They were purposely hitting each other before the finish line as a demo car derby. It was the funniest thing ever. Yeah, that ain't right, is it?
Check that out. He's number 12. He's lost his wheel.
Dear.
That
was a lot of fun for our lockdown entertainment. In the end, officially the results are, and I don't know how this happened. Well, it's because Matt McCutcheon came from along the grass. Anyway, Gisbergen, McCutcheon and Skeets, Natoa. No one cares about the results anymore. Mullany, Wooten, Simon Evans, entertainment galore. Marco Giltrap, Taylor Cockerton, and James Penrose, who we never spoke about because he wasn't there and suddenly he just turns up. Smith dropped all the way down after leading for a while. Timperley, Andrew Waite, 13th, 1 lap down because he was taken out dramatically. Brock Gilchrist, 3 laps down. Hawkswood, Bethune and Rowan Shepherd. Gonski's in the trailer early. So there we go. 2 races, 1 fast and a little bit of skill and fun. The next one complete mayhem, chaos and pure racing entertainment. That'd sum it up right, wouldn't it, Andrew?
Mate, you nailed it.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. Hey, thanks for your help tonight. I know you had nothing else to do.
Well, you know, when I got the call from Motorsport New Zealand, I thought, shit, I'm going to the stewards again. And then it was like, no, I haven't been racing for a while. Then it was like, Elite Academy ringing. Oh, geez, I've had the call up.
Yeah.
No, we just want you to do a little bit of trash talking. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't fit enough to be in the academy.
Yeah, very true. Anyway, you got to see a lot of drivers doing what you do. They were all in the sand trap and going out on the grass. We'll probably see more of that. Are you racing this season, by the way?
Hang on, just hold the phone.
What? Sorry,
there was one
what?
that did what you did.
Anyway,
it was on its roof.
Anyway, this was a fantastic evening of motorsport. Thanks everyone for watching the fun. We enjoyed bringing it to you. There will be more to come because, hey, aren't we going to be in lockdown till February? Anyway, that's what I'm hearing. So we'll do more, I'm sure, and we'll have a lot of fun doing it with you. Thank you, Andrew. Thanks for Race Control, Geordie at Motorsport New Zealand, the Elite Motorsport Academy, and all our drivers who came along tonight and gave up their time to entertain us on a Friday. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll be back again, hopefully very soon.